Welcome back to another episode of Vault. This is episode 7 entitled Babel. Yes, it's me again this week. I hope you enjoyed episode 6 where Nat came on as a guest. The viewership numbers were significantly higher the last episode than all the previous episodes combined, really. And I'm really glad to see that. And now that I'm back, I expect that the numbers will go down once again. But it's cool. Now for today, as you saw in the teaser video, I made another purchase. It is a film poster from one of my favorite films of all time, Metropolis, by Fritz Lang, originally released in 1927. Now, of course, I don't have the original 1927 version of the poster. Only a few of them remain in existence at present. In fact, at one of the more high-profile auctions of the 1927 poster, it went for almost 700,000 USD. And the buyer, it was rumored, was no less than Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio himself. $700,000 USD. Well, if there are any philanthropists or generous donors out there who would like to spur on the passions of a young film enthusiast, please send me a DM. If not, I will probably include a link for a Kickstarter campaign where you will get absolutely nothing in return except for the simple joy of said film enthusiasts at possessing the 1927 version, the holy grail of movie posters. Alright, so on to the film poster itself. I'm really excited to share this with you. As you can see, it is still in the tube. I literally just gotten it, but I've shot some B-reel so you can see what the film poster actually looks like throughout the episode. Now, this is a German A1 original film poster from 2011 of the 1927 classic Metropolis by Fritz Lang. Why was there a 2011 version of the film, you might ask? Well, for the simple reason was that for almost 8 decades, there was lost footage, but it was recently found in 2008, and after restoration work, there was the 2010 release of the film. Now, the story of Metropolis is a fascinating one, and I would highly recommend that you watch the film if you have not already done so. But the history of the film itself is equally dramatic. In 1927, when the film was initially released, there was actually poor reception at this initial German release. Now, this prompted the production company, UFA Studios, to make substantial edits and cuts. In total, 948 meters of footage was edited or cut from the film, and this cut version was then re-released to the public. What happened to the full version? 1 year after that release, in 1928, the head of a Buenos Aires distribution company named Terra took a copy of this long version to Argentina, and it was just lost and forgotten to the sands of time. It was only in 2008 where the director of the museum found the lost footage. Now, where was this lost footage? Literally, it was in a vault, hidden in the shadows in the Museum of Cinema in Buenos Aires. It was only found in 2008, which means that it was lost to the world, to humanity for 80 years. Now, in this newly found footage, there was between 25 to 30 minutes of previously unseen footage. So, The film underwent 2 years of restoration and it was finally shown in 2010 at the Berlin Film Festival premiere. Now, as you might expect, the restoration work was both a complicated and a complex process. When the film footage was held in Buenos Aires, there was an initial conversion from the 35mm version of the film to a 16mm version of the film because of #science nitrate issues, which in the previous episode I talked about its explosive nature. Now, this 16mm version itself was severely damaged, but crucially, it contained the missing scenes from the film. Now, this foundation called the Murnau Foundation, they set about restoring this 16mm version of the film. What did they use to guide the reconstruction process? Of all things, it was the only surviving document from the 1927 full version, which was the original score that helped guide the process. The sheet music itself contained the various notes to the dramatic sequences and the scenes which helped the reconstruction process. So, in February 2010, 2,000 people turned up on a snowy night in Berlin, huddled closely together, where the film, together with its restored portions, was projected onto a screen in front of the Brandenburg Gate. How I would have loved to be there, with a live orchestra performing the original score. This was definitely the highlight of the Berlin Film Festival and represented the culmination of all the restoration works, but also of decades upon decades of anticipation at this lost footage. This was every film enthusiast's dream, but at the same time, it was also the intersection of the forces, the sentiment, the emotion of nationalism, together with an item from pop culture. This was something representative of German history, but also of German identity. And so, what is the impact and significance of the restored version of the film? Well, of course, right now we can see more of the film, and the film is now more true to its original nature and form. But at the same time, I think the restored version also transforms the way we see and view and understand the narrative within Metropolis. Instead of it being seen as just simply a projection of the future or dystopia or typecast within the sci-fi genre, right now we see that there are a lot more themes of humanity, like friendship, betrayal, loyalty, dreams, visions, and the struggle for them. And so I believe the restored version of the film is a lot more humanizing of the characters, and it definitely deepens the sophistication of the storytelling and the narrative and the central themes behind the film. I love Metropolis and the history of Metropolis because it is very much similar to the process of history, and in particular working with evidence. Sometimes evidence remains hidden in the vaults, in the shadows, in the dust shelves of history, waiting to be found. But when it is found, it manages to transform the way we view events and people of the past. And the search actually goes on. So the footage that was found in Buenos Aires, it contains 700 meters of footage. However, if you remember #quick math, the original lost footage was about 950 meters. So if you do the subtraction, we still have about 250 meters worth of footage that has yet to be found, still waiting in the shadows of history for its time for the light to shine upon it. Thank you everyone for joining me on another episode of Vault. This has been episode 7 entitled Babel. A reminder to all you philanthropists and generous donors out there, please contribute to my $700,000 quest for the 1927 version of the poster. To the rest of you, I will see you on the other side. Shane out.